Obsession director Curry Barker has recently again talked about two alternate endings for Obsession. One that was shot and intended to be the theatrical ending before it was changed after production ended. There were also changes during production, and one scene in particular almost earned the film an NC-17 rating before it was cut down for R. So today we're going to unpack everything we know and try to find out if Curry Barker has plans to release a director's cut. Maybe we'll see these deleted scenes. Let's get into this thing. Okay, spoiler warning, fair warning, it's been a few weeks, I'm still warning you. So I didn't get a review out for Obsession. It was kind of too late to by the time I saw the film, but I did enjoy it. And having been excited for it, based on just the trailers that I saw, mainly the teaser trailer, I was stoked for its success. So let's get into these alternate endings. While talking to Entertainment Weekly, Curry Barker said, "I was really obsessed with this Romeo and Juliet ending actually," which gives us an idea of how the film was originally going to end up. He notes his father was one person who pushed him to change the ending, and for context, the theatrical version of the film ends with Nikki using the last one-wish willow while Bear attempts suicide in the bathroom. We can assume her wish was related to loving her or not fearing her. Bear, controlled by the wish, emerges from the bathroom, kisses her, and dies from the overdose. Heartbroken, she prepares to shoot herself, but his death causes his wish to lose its effect, essentially waking her up before she can. Both director Curry Barker and star of the film Michael Johnston have talked about this first alternate ending in press interviews. In it, Nikki was going to shoot herself right then and there. Johnston noted that the practical blood splatter was devastating and it looked so real. He went on to say, "After we filmed that, Curry said, 'We've got to do a take where she lives, just to have it as backup.' I believe we only did one take, and Indy absolutely killed it, to the point where we all realized her surviving is so much more tragic, because it just makes your mind wonder, now what is going to happen to her? Is she going to be arrested? It's so awful, it's so mean. This is such a mean movie, but I love it. It's the signature Curry Barker style. It gives you some food for thought right at the end. We might be ending here, but this story is not over." So I think I mostly agree with this. Having her alive at the end, when that ending went down so fast, leaves us still wondering and thinking about the movie on the drive home from the theater. I think the Romeo and Juliet ending is kind of a funny idea. But here's the thing. Sometime while watching this movie, early on in the movie, I realized he's gonna have to kill himself for this movie to end. Now, it's probably right at the moment where he calls up and the guy reveals, "Yeah, well, when you die." But to me, it was obvious that he was gonna have to die to set this poor woman free. That's the only way to resolve this movie. And obviously I was right, but that doesn't mean I don't think it was the right ending. It may be sort of obvious to some of us, but it's also the best way to get out of that situation. Then we have another ending that was sort of leaning into a more psychological horror element. More of a, is this real or is he hallucinating it? This was set up with the pills early on, but ultimately Barker was convinced to lean into it really happening. I don't know too much more about that one, but that kind of plot idea has been done a lot in the last 25 years. So in a way, it's just refreshing to just go for it. Make your universe and your rules and stand by them. So then we have some additional scenes and some changes during production to talk about. According to a Dread Central article on the film, there were several different scenes and edits throughout production, including additional photography, conversations about character clarity, and it sounds like there was a big discussion about how to properly portray Cooper Tomlinson's character on screen, and how the audience was going to perceive his character. Curry Barker also said himself that he had to trim down a certain scene to avoid an NC-17 rating, which honestly to me is surprising in this day and age. So the scene in question is when Nikki appears outside the car window and smashes the girl's head into the steering wheel until she's fully juiced like a lemon. But apparently this went on even longer in the original cut. Yeah, I'm a fan of horror and gore, so I'd like to see that. But where does this leave us? Are we going to get a director's cut? Are we ever going to see some of this stuff? Barker says he's got a lot of the footage that he needs to dive back into, and it will be work, but if Focus Features wants it, he'll do it. If the success of the film is any indication of how it will be treated by physical media, then I personally believe we will see a director's cut of this movie. Curry Barker was quoted as saying, "I would love to do a director's cut of this just because there's so many things that are not in the movie." He goes on to say, "That would be really fun, but it would literally be a project for me. I would have to set aside some time to really dive into the footage again. It would have to be something that Focus really wants, and I would be like, yes, let's do it. Now, this interview took place before the release of the film, so I think it's safe to assume these conversations have now been had between him and Focus. And if not, what the fuck are you guys doing over there? Anyway, I'm interested to know what you guys think. Would you be interested in seeing the alternate endings and director's cut? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear from you. Quick thank you to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. If you want more Ectoviolence, including exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content, become a member by clicking the links in the description below.